Greetings, Tetris citizens. It is your old pal Van Dweller back with more classic Tetris Monthly Mega Dasters, our first annual DAS Championship. So we've had over a year of DAS Masters, and now it is time to crown an overall DAS champion for the year 2025. And it's going to be one of 64 players, 3 of whom are going to play down to 1 in this broadcast. And we'll start bracket visualizations when we get to the top 32. But you can see the full bracket at the links that I have just put into chat. So click on the one for Mega Dasters and you can see all that. Right now, we will be playing the red bracket, and that is going to be Vance versus Thisnthat, a player about whom I know very little, but is here at 62 seeds. So Vance versus Thisnthat. The winner will be taking on Rookout Rogue, aka Matt Martin. So looking forward to this match, and this will determine who makes it into the top 32. So go ahead and take a look at that bracket if you want to see the whole thing. This is the red bracket. I don't know, will there be any red bracket rants? I feel like I've got 1 or 2 in me about Stencil, but I've beat that drum so many times. Either you're going to do Stencil or not, whatever, but that's fine. So Vance versus Thisnthat, winner takes on Rookout Rogue. We will have another broadcast after this, another bracket. We'll either keep it here or, depending on how it goes, take a small break. But that is going to be the Sky bracket. That's going to basically start 2 hours from now. It's going to be Ian Keith versus Neuro, and the winner versus Cole. So 4 matches coming up over the next 3.5 to 4 hours. Okay, let's take a look at the rules. There are rules, believe it or not, and the rules are that this is a 64. Oh my God, I can't talk. 64. I can't talk. What is wrong with me? 64-player single elimination flat bracket tournament based on the 1989 version of Tetris, released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System on NTSC consoles. Players can play an emulator or console so long as the game mechanic experience and statistics are unmodified. They can use any controller so long as there's no big buttons or turbo functions used, whether electronical or mechanical, or even biological. No biological turbo. These matches are going to be best of 5, so the first player to 3 wins is the winner of the match. That probably will be a best of 7 with a skunk rule in the top 32. But for now, it is best of 5. Level 18 starts all the way through. Players, please listen. We will be using same piece sets, and those will be re-rolled in between each game. We are not incrementing, we are re-rolling. And your hertz and input display, they do need to be turned on. So turn those on now if those are not. You should not receive any in-game advice. So while you're playing, nobody on your headphones or anywhere else telling you how you should play, about your opponent's board state or anything like that. And do not pause unless I tell you to pause. If you do experience tech issues, just keep playing. Don't assume your score won't count. Assume that it will count, okay? Until you hear otherwise from me. And the winner and some other people get absolutely something, and that is a share in a prize pool, which stands right now at $22.92. And, our normal, or what has become our normal incentive for the top 8 is $1,000 in our monthlies. We're looking to go well beyond that. So if you want to get us started, use the Matcherino command to bring up the links, and that'll take you to the landing page for this tournament with our prize pool partner, Matcherino. Remember, this prize pool and all our prize pools are funded 100% by you, the viewers like you. We do not have the Carnegie Corporation of New York or the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It's just you, viewers like you. So go over to that Matcherino page, click on the link that you bring up with that command. It'll take you to that page. Top right hand corner is where you log in. It says log in, so you click on that to log in. Who would have thought? You can log in with your existing Twitch or YouTube accounts. You don't need to make a separate account if you've never done this before. You can just log in with Twitch. Yes, easy. Couple clicks. Once you're logged in, the right side of the screen has a couple of ways to contribute. One, it says contribute. Click on that to contribute, like straight cash homie, whatever. Empty your mom's credit card into the prize pool. Don't do that. That's a joke, right? That's sarcasm. Don't really do that, right? The other way you can contribute is with contribution codes. We do get 50 free contribution codes every single month, courtesy of Matcherino. And all you have to do is log in and then click where it says claim code. And then Matcherino will kick in 25 cents. We get 50 of those, and we get a one per account. So thank you, Rogue Potato, for contributing to the prize pool. That's going to bring us up to $44.44. Really appreciate that, Rogue Potato. And, is there anything more dangerous than a rogue potato? So no, not dangerous, because contributing to the prize pool. But otherwise, if you see a rogue potato, you run. All right, thank you so much, Rogue Potato. Appreciate that. Just going to click in, see if there's any message there so I can read that. But anyway, we've got 24 contribution codes left. That is a travesty. It's an atrocity, really. And you are all a party to it. So let us knock those down. There goes another one. Let's get those done by the end of tonight. I don't want to have to keep mentioning the contribution codes. So let's get them done. So if you don't think I'm talking to you about doing them, I am talking to you. So anyway, that is how to support the players. By the way, we'll have the kind of series of incentives and targets and things like that coming soon. But right now, that is where you can contribute to get our prize pool started. That's how to support the players. To support the channel, well, there's a lot of different ways to do that, one of which is Patreon. Go to patreon.com/monthlytetris to make an ongoing pledge of support to keep this channel going, just like these people have done. I truly mean it, that if it were not for all y'all's support of the channel, this channel, these tournaments would not be going on. I'd be done. It would be over. CTM would be gone, and you would not be watching it right now. That doesn't mean we're getting enough, but it's just enough where I can sort of, eke out what I need to eke out in order to keep these tournaments going. So if you want to keep this stuff going, if you want to keep me from doing meal delivery apps, then go to patreon.com/monthlytetris. Make the ongoing pledge of support. Just like Scott Gray, Jay the Window, K9, Tacky, Corporal, Shelby, Troy Dan, Kim M, Rogue Potato, Cat, Javan T, Jason, and Sunny have done, as well as everybody else on this slide. There are other ways to support us. If you don't like Patreon, you can find some of those in the support command. So !support will have some links to some other ways you can support us. If you wanted to make an ongoing pledge, you can do a recurring amount in PayPal, for example. And we'll eventually come up with examples of how to do that. Had another contribution to the prize pool. Blingus says gaming. Thank you, gaming. And Rogue Potato said DAS. So I agree with that. Thank you, Blingus. If you're watching on YouTube, you've got some ways to support us as well. Super chats are good. Stickers are better because then I don't have to read a whole thing out loud. You can comment. You make a super comment. Super thanks. A lot of super things. Over on... Oh, you got channel memberships as well. And you can gift a channel membership. You can even gift multiple channel memberships. And that helps us out as well. On Twitch, you've got bits. You've got subscriptions. You've got gift subscriptions. You've got Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, gaming sub that you can apply to the channel. So that is cool. All right. That music means that it is time for me to drop the seed. And that means that it's time for us to stop talking about all this nonsense and to start showing you the players and getting all that all situated. Look at this. And you were concerned about face cam or hand cam, but this is perfect. This is fine. There's no problem here. This is perfecto. And we'll see if Vance is here. Hopefully Vance knows that this is happening. Otherwise, I went through all that for nothing. You're here. Okay. And now you're refreshed and you're feeling good. All right. You are here. I just didn't refresh the thing. All right, camera. Get your camera situated. Vance never did get that tank top. He wants that tank top so bad. Wants to show off the guns, but he never ended up getting that tank top. Oh, whoops. Maybe one of these days he will. All right, so there we go. On Starlink, aboard the space shuttle, it's this and that. My goodness gracious. All right, so I have dropped the pieces in the chat, players. If I win Mega Dasters, says Vance, you have no excuse not to give it. If you win Mega Dasters, let's put it this way. If you get into the top 8, I will get you that. I will get you that. That way you can have it for the top 8. It's Video Ninja. No, it looks great. It's fine. It's all good. If you get in the top 8, it's yours. We need you to look good for your top 8 run. All right, the pieces are here. They are not pinned. If there are mods in the chat, we can pin seeds. That would help. All right, now you are sufficiently motivated. All right, players, make sure your hertz and input displays are turned on. We got the seeds here, 0158A5. Yeah, don't worry about blurry. I don't care about blurry. It's irrelevant. I think, honestly, in some ways, it's fun. But don't do it on purpose. Okay, looks like both players are ready, which is nice. Check seeds at 0158A5. Yeah, both players are ready. It is red bracket CTM Mega Dasters, not round 2, round 1. Vance versus this and that. Let us get them started in 3, 2, 1. A Tetris. On the left side of your screen, seed number 35 from the United States of America with a PB of 1.22 million. It is Vance. There he is with no tank top, just a regular boring shirt. But nevertheless, it is Vance. Vance qualified into this tournament with a 945,000. That was the average of his best 3 games played in a 75-minute championship qualifier. Vance has that PB of that 1.22 million with DAS. That is a top 50 score on the overall PB DAS list. And you've seen Vance play multiple times, 4 previous times in our monthly DAS Masters events, finishing as high as the top 16. You've also seen Vance in Classic Tetris League. You've seen him playing in Community Tournament and Tetris Deathmatch. You've seen him in DAS Champions League, and you've also seen him at CTWC Northeast Regional back in 22, among other places. So good to have Vance here. Always a fun time to cast Vance and his exploits. On the right side of your screen is this and that. Not this and that, but this in that, which is, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what that refers to, but there it is. This and that is here. Seed number 62 from the USA with a DAS PB of 1.10. And this is this and that. I don't know what, I guess I'm just going to say this and that. This is this and that, I believe, first DAS Masters, Mega Dasters, you know, our top tier DAS event, playing in really any of our DAS events Has played in a couple of CTM community tiers throughout the last year or so. You've seen This and That most recently in North Carolina at the CTWC Regional. Plays a lot of Tetris for the non-pros, TNP. 243 here for This and That, 249 for Vance. Also has played in Classic Tetris bi-weekly ELO battles, but mostly a TNP. Mostly TNP. But has a lot of matches going back, last 18, 20 months, something like that, just for being in the competitive community for under 2 years. Has like over 350 matches played, which is bonkers. I don't think I've played that my entire career. Maybe I have. I don't know. Have I? Probably not. But anyway, we're here to see what This and That can do. It is Das Masters debut here in Mega Dasters 317. This and That qualified in with a 847,000 three-game average, and is in the top 140 in DAS PB. Seed number 62, so is barely skating in there. 362 for This and That, 330 for Vance. This and That is a Classic Tetris bi-weekly founder. See, I don't know that. I'm totally out of the loop when it comes to Classic Tetris bi-weekly. My cease and desist in Classic Tetris bi-weekly did not work. I sent them a cease and desist letter saying I have exclusive rights to Classic Tetris, and then some frequency of time, whether it's Classic Tetris yearly, weekly, bi-weekly, fortnightly. But they apparently have ignored all my attempts to reach them. So we're going to drop the matter and not concern ourselves too much about it. We'll see if that does come back to bite us legally. I kid, of course. 441 for This and That, 412 for Vance. Oh, wait, there's Classic Tetris Daily? I got to get my lawyer. Get my lawyer. Now, why you would not choose to do Classic Tetris fortnightly when that is available? I mean, the memes, the meme potential. You had to change it from CTB because of because of Classic Tetris Brawl. Yeah, you shouldn't adopt someone else's letters. 485 for Vance, 535 for This and That. So This and That ahead by 50,000 points at the 19 transition. Blingus says, where's Classic Tetris hourly? Okay, we'll start to incrementally get shorter and shorter and more hilarious increments of time. Where's Classic Tetris minutely? All right, just keep getting shorter millisecondly. Ah, ha, ha. Good job, Blingus. 639 for This and That, 504 for Vance. Lori has gifted a fan level membership over on YouTube, and Joshi New Wave is the recipient of that. Thank you so much, Lori. Really appreciate the support both today and every other time. 516 for Vance, 654 for This and That. Zook says Classic Tetris plank timely. Now I gotta believe, since at the quantum level everything's like quantized, right? There's no continuity allegedly. But time must be that too, so there must be some limit. All right, 551 for Vance, 666 for This and That, and Vance is going to top out. And This and That is good. But here's the other thing. If you're making an event, you do not have to call it Classic Tetris, blank, Classic Tetris X. It does not have to be that. You could make it Retro Tetris. In fact, that's what I was going to call, before I took over CTM, I was going to make my own tournament. It was like Retro Tetris something, because there already existed Classic Tetris World Championship. Then I took over Classic Tetris Monthly, kept the name. It was actually called Retro Tetris League is what I was working on before I decided to take over CTM. But you do not have to call it CT this, CT that. All right, this and that still going with the mullen, and it's okay. Go ahead and mullen. But that is the end of it. Gonna go ahead and drop a seed in the chat, but you can, no, that's okay. No, keep playing, of course. If the stream crashed, keep playing, definitely. No, you can mullen, it's fine. Especially if you're on a pace, Oh, crash 320, no problem. But yeah, you do not have to call it Classic Tetris, bleh, right? You can call it Retro Tetris. You can call it Classic Puzzle Champions. You can call it, Block Droppers Delight. You do not have to call it Classic Tetris this, Classic Tetris that. It's not required. All right, the pieces are in the chat. 6210B9. Thank you, Zook, for the pin of the seed. Appreciate that. You could call it, old school Tetris Jamboree. Nope, no incrementing. Yeah, a lot of people learning that we don't increment in CTM top tiers anyway, because we don't trust any of you. 6210B9. Okay, both players are ready. Game number 2, this and that, up 1 game to none over Vance. Game number 2, 3-2-1 Tetris. Yeah, this is the big leads, indeed. Imagine incrementing in a top level league with money on the line and seed previewers out in the world and people wearing headphones. I mean, are you seeing where I'm going with this? It's borderline irresponsible when there's a big prize pool. Casual events, low stakes events, whatever, but people are chunking in hundreds of dollars. You can't do that. In my opinion, people can have other opinions, whatever. What do I know? Just been doing this longer than literally every single other person. My opinion doesn't count for anything. 50,000 for this and that. There's a Tetris 72,000. 54,000 for Vance. Tetris for Vance, 77,000. Yeah, of course you could, Zook, but then you couldn't have Tetris at all. So there's just nothing. There's nothing you can do. So you do everything you can. $103 for this and that, 126 for Vance. That's why we explicitly make, part of the rules that you cannot get real game advice or in-game advice, real-time advice, in-game advice. There you go. $127 for this and that, 151 for Vance. That said, the community is pretty good at sussing out suspect behavior. So if somebody's experiencing some long drought and then, exactly sets up a dependency when exactly the piece is going to come, or sets up a, Tetris well when they have no business otherwise doing it. I feel like we have some very smart people, and we've had people in the past, not really recently that I'm aware of, although probably, but we've had people try to get away with stuff in the past, and they get sussed out a lot. There's a whole CTM investigation team that takes that very seriously, and people get to the bottom of things. $252 for Vance, and then if you have a major hobby, you don't want to risk your reputation in that hobby and something so stupid. At least I wouldn't want to. $253 for This and That. $277 for Vance. May I ask why didn't Geo qualify, says Josh? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really inquire as to why people do and don't qualify when you do and don't see them. I don't know. Maybe it was too busy or traveling. This is a tournament which we're trying to get done within a tight time window. Would love to get it done pretty much by the end of October. Not possible, but maybe by the first week of November. And people who don't have good availability were encouraged not to play, although some people still did. But what can I do? I mean, if they submit a qualifier, and I guess we'll just deal with it. But they're saying Geo had controller issues. $358 for Vance, $354 for This and That. All right, another Tetris for This and That. 400,000 here in game number 2. The winner of this will take on Matt Martin, Rookout Rogue, in round 2. And this will eventually feed into a match against the player who is right now the reigning Jonas Cup champion, Fractal. $454 for This and That. $475 for Vance. Ben, do you think Mega Masters or Mega Dasters are participation trophy championships? Well, clearly it isn't, because we don't even have a Das Masters role, so are we going to have a Mega Dasters role? I know, I got to get that Das Masters role done. It's on my list, and I just keep not getting around to it. $529 for Vance, $501 for This and That. Like, a Discord role is the ultimate participation trophy. All right, This and That. 4 rows of garbage over the Tetris well, burning it down, adding some more. $550 for Vance. Tetris for This and That. $541. Vance ahead by 7 lines right now. A lot of these matches have been really interesting to watch. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like keeping Das going. It's kind of a labor of love. I love Das. I like watching Das matches. And I also like, it gives a little bit of a platform for players who are not really going to be able or willing to participate in open tournament play at a high level. So you get a better, a different mix of players who kind of get the limelight. So I like that part of it too. 584 for this and that. 623 for Vance. Oh, Laurie's over here on Twitch. Welcome, Laurie. Oh, Chen, come on now. All right, Vance ahead by 61,000 points. Gets it Tetris. He's also right now ahead by, 8 lines. You're on both. Laurie, you're a sicko. All right, Vance has to take a triple. Get rid of his Tetris well, but reestablishes, gets a Tetris. 718 for him, 647 for this and that. So clean games so far. Neither one is going to be max possible. And this and that, 10 lines behind, 70,000 points behind. Tetris is here, worth north of 33, 34,000, something like that. Tetris for Vance, 793. Oh, this and that is going to block that J hole just as L hole just as the L is coming. And that is going to be a top out for this and that on level 27. And Vance is already ahead and takes game number 2. All right, solid, clean game all around. I got another fake max out before this stream. You think it's because you're streaming 360p? Whatever it takes, whatever gets you streaming, that's what matters. More fake max outs, right? That's the thing that's working for me. Starting on level 23, transition trainer with 700k points. And then all you got to do pretty much is like score 1 Tetris per level, and you're like right in there. And so that's just helping me train consistency. Bendy preferring YouTube for its UI and chat, bandwidth. Yeah, I can't explain it. I cannot explain it. People do not seem to want to go to YouTube for gaming streams. As far as I know, I don't really look, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Kind of talking out of school, but... All right, 0DE192. You prefer the YouTube? Yeah, I hardly ever just watch Twitch anymore. I'm almost always on YouTube. But... I mean, that's mostly because, I don't know. I'm just trying to be more productive. ODE192. Both players ready. And what was once a best of 5, now a best of 3 virtually between Vance and this and that. Game number 3, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Yeah, Twitch has rewind now if you're sub to the channel, or is it Twitch Turbo? And of course, Laurie is on the watch. Zook has gifted a tier 1 sub to Vance. So Vance, you are now subscribed. Thank you, Zook. Frodo Dodo with the raid party of 5, by the way, 35 minutes ago. Thank you very much. All right, split double there for Vance. All right, Vance excited. No tank top, but he'll take it. Now I can rewind Vance. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be rewinding. Oh, wait, you're saying rewind, comma, Vance. Now Vance can rewind. I could always rewind Vance. You're polling both channels to see what tournament you should go to, says Laurie. What tournament are the candidates? taking a poll on what live I should travel to see. It's probably too late, but I think Jonas Cup is super fun. I don't know if they're going to do Montreal next year. I hope so. But that was a fun one. Oh, Vance is up high. And oh no, Vance is going to top out on 18. 28 lines in. And this and that is good in game number 3. Not like this and that. Good. All right, new pieces are here. 144C74 players. You can take a moment if you need it. You're going to rewind and see what you messed up. Oh my God, it's a revolution. Yeah, if there's a Montreal one, that's a pretty good one. You know, it's kind of close to, you know, it's in Canada, so a lot of the Canadians come. It's close to the Northeast, so a lot of the Northeast players come. And you'll get to see Martz, which is, oh my God, what a draw. Okay, both players ready. Game number 4, Vance looking to tie it up to force a deciding game 5. This and that, looking to wrap it up in his debut right now. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Looks like we had another contribution to the prize pool. It's Uncle Ungie with the 2510. That is going to get us up to 7654, 7654. Thank you, Uncle Ungie. Appreciate that. I'm sure the players appreciate it as well. Are the PBs DAS PBs? Yes. As far as I am able to ascertain their correct DAS PBs, there's no great solution for aggregating and accessing DAS PBs. There is a sheet, but that is not universally updated by everyone, although there are some people who try to add any PB they can find to that list. $101 for Vance, 37,000 for this and that. You've been on a 1.1 DAS PB for 4 years. Time to pick up rolling. If you've got the max, if you got the 1.1, and you have any ability at all to roll, just roll. I shouldn't be saying that in the DAS tournament, but pick up a new challenge. I mean, go for the 1.2. I mean, keep going for the 1.2, but pick up rolling. You might be a prodigy and not even know it. I have no ability to roll. So when I get my max out by the end of the year, I'm fairly confident I will get it within the next, maybe not by the end of the year, but it's a good chance. Don't let them seduce you with promise of bigger numbers. DAS for life. I mean, you might be the next rolling prodigy and not know it. 251 for Vance, 172 for this and that. At least give it a shot. Tetris Vance 296, 172 for this and that. You tried rolling for a week and your roll PB is 550? That's great. What's wrong with that? For a week? Sounds good. You like the jerpy grip? It's a plausible grip. What I have to do, once I get that max, I'm going to start to try to play Tetris with one hand on the controller, controlling both the D-pad and the rotational buttons with just one hand. And if I can get that down, then I might start rolling, maybe. But that's like, seems, it's not worth thinking about for me right now. Got to get that max. You think I'm going to get the first 100 million with rolling? I can't wait to see it. The first 100 million. Somebody will get it. I don't know when, but if people keep playing Tetris and they keep rolling, and somebody's going to say, I'm going to get the first 100 million, and they will do it. And it'll be like, an 8-hour continuous stream, and they'll have to ice their arm down, but it'll happen. $468 for Vance, 403 for this and that. 3 rebirths. Yeah, imagine getting 3 rebirth. Is pausing allowed during well, you'd have to set up the parameters. You mean during the 100 million chase? You'd have to set up some parameters, right? Whatever the sanctioning body of of whoever is counting the PB or the world record or whatever, they'll decide that. Depends on what leaderboard you're submitting it to. It seems like pausing is recognized. Oh. See, I don't really recognize it. But other people might. Not recognized by me. 520 for Vance, 495 for this and that. You have to wait for a level zero for a bathroom break? Yeah, just put it on level 0, run to the other room, and you can go to the bathroom again when you get to level 0 again. That's the incentive. 570 for Vance. He's on 19, on his way into 20. Tetris for this and that, 522. Or just, whatever. Get a Pampers scholarship or sponsorship and never look back. Literally. Set up the NES in the bathroom. Yeah. That's it. 555 for this and that. 583 for Vance. Good luck, Laurie. Skimming a Tetris there for this and that. 583, 585 for Vance. We are neck and neck. It seems like no one is motivated to go for rebirth, let alone 100 million. Yeah, I agree. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I mean, we can't even get anyone else to go for Crash again. Do we still have 10 Crashers and that's it? Like, that's a travesty. Somebody has got to go for it. Colors? Oh, no, this and that. With the undershift of the piece, I think maybe lost Dasters or something. That is going to be a top out for this and that at 615. And Vance has taken game 4 and tied it up, and we are headed to a deciding game number 5. Is it still 10 Crashers? Doesn't that seem bizarre? You want to see higher level 939 PBs? I mean, they're already pretty high. I mean, 2.1 million is unlocked, right? You'll do it? All right, you're going to go for all of that? I hope so. All right, new pieces players, C2CC7A, Charlie 2, Charlie, Charlie 7 Alpha. Seems like no one is motivated to go for rebirth, let alone probably needs a bounty. Yeah, I mean, you can get a bounty for someone being the first, right? No, Javati says, it doesn't seem bizarre when you realize how difficult the task is. Yeah, but I believe more than 10 people are capable. But yeah, it is a grind for sure. Okay, C to CC7A. This is it. Decider time, my guys. Both players have signaled ready, so let's go ahead and get them started. Vance and this and that. Winner goes to round 2 to face Matt in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Uh-oh. The glasses have come out. Will there be no cap November again? Yes. It is going to be the Crash Dodge edition, so we will put the game crash on. And so, yeah, you say, oh, well, there is a cap then. But yeah, that's going to be the natural cap that is in the default game, right? So crash will be enabled. And so, you know, players can go for a long time. Yeah, that does look like Barrett, doesn't it? That is so Barrett right now. Like Barrett's younger brother. Now, I don't know if anybody's going to get to the crash point. We did have colors and it was crazy, but I don't know, man. Is someone going to get to colors and get to that crash point again? Or because it takes 2 players to do it, right? Double colors was nuts. There's no cap, just dodge it. Right, you just have to dodge the game crash. I'm not capping the game. You know, Nintendo is capping the game, not me. But yeah, we will do it that way. Just to add another wrinkle to it. $166, this and that, 109 for Vance. And who knows? That might be the final no cap November. It might be the final month of CTM if we don't get these prize pools up. Gotta get them prize pools going. Use the Matcherino command if you want to contribute to the prize pool. Encourage these players to keep coming back to our tournaments. 217 for this and that. 186 for Vance. To play 29 even somewhat efficiently takes 3 to 4 years of rolling. Says Bendy. Sounds like copium, man. Zar Jordan with the tier 1 sub with the Das Heart. Thank you, Zar Jordan. Appreciate that. Yeah, Bendy says, yeah, 2021 to 24. You say that, and that's true. But once, you know, a number of people have unlocked a milestone or a skill, it gets overall easier for everyone else trying to do it, because there's more information about it and just more help and resources and things like that. So I think the ramp time for someone picking up rolling is probably going to end up being less than that, but still, you know, it's not something you're going to pick up rolling and then, you know, get colors in 2 months. And you have to believe it's possible. See, as soon as people believe it's possible, then people can do it. But it takes, you know, like Cousin Avi is saying, like the 4-minute mile. Like once people believe that it's possible and that it's demonstrated possible, then it just unlocks it. Like people say, oh. And it's really those, you know, kind of innovative, visionary people who believe without having to see it, right? They just know. Or they proved it to themselves in something. Those are the people who drive us all forward, right? 384 for Vance. Tetris for Vance, 406. Other Tetris this and that, 546. He's got a big lead, 135,000 point lead, one line apart. These must be like Google AI glasses or whatever. Because this and that, since turning on the glasses, he's on 600K transition pace. Well, maybe not if you can't burn out of this. You got to burn out quickly. And it won't. Well, no, it would be. Yeah, because 24,000. So if you can get this Tetris, it'll be 600K pace. Oh no, that L piece to the left, and there's the 600K, but an awkward board heading into 19, that left side. Oh no, and that is going to be a top out, so glass is good for 18, maybe not for 19. 602 is the target for Vance to take this decider. Oh no. A little bit of the yips there for this and that entering 19. Tetris for Vance. One more would do it. But he doesn't need it. He's got all day to do it. 602 is the target. The glass has malfunctioned. Uh-oh. He's got all day. 12,000 to go. He wants that tank top. He's like, I need to get to the top 8. I need to get that tank top. Oh, and he's actually set up for the Tetris. Long bar comes. There's the Tetris. And the win for Vance. And he will be moving on to the round of 48. Round 2. To take on Matt Martin. This and that, you played very well in your Das Masters debut, coming in 62 seed, taking a really good player to a decider, the 600K transition. I mean, who knows? You survive that, who knows what happens, but very, very good game. So you did very, very well. So hope to see you again in future events. But yeah, that was great. Well, it is time to bring in Matt. So I will go ahead and run an ad real quick. I might have to take a brief biological break. Goodbye, this and that. And then we will be back with Vance versus Matt. So that is goodbye slot 27. And Vance, what are you? Slot number 29. Okay. And then goodbye 29, hello 30. All right, I'm going to set up these cams real quick while the players do their thing. I will have to take a brief moment for myself. You know, I'm fasting, so that does make you have to take slightly more breaks. Matt, when you start your next warm-up game, make sure to turn on your Hertz and input display. Let's see, camera for Vance. Do. And we'll just fix his stencil a little bit. Actually, I can just copy this 29, right? Copy, transform, and paste transform. And that should work, right? Oh my god, amazing. This in Matt. All right, I'll be right back. You can watch the players warm up. I'll go on mute and I'll be right back. All right, players, the pieces are in chat. 696C-A7. 696C-A7. All right. All right, looks like both players are getting ready. Vance entering the seed at 696CA7. All All right, Vance waggling the ready. Both players are ready. This is round 2. Matt versus Vance. The winner goes to the top 32 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. On the left side of your screen, seed number 30 from the United States of America with a DAS PB of 100. 100? That's it, 130. That's it. No, 1.3 million. It is Matt Martin, aka Rookout Rogue, qualified in with a 975,000. That was the average of his best 3 games played in a 75-minute championship qualifying period. Matt is from the United States, Oklahoma. And that PB with that 1.3, that is currently 13th on the overall DAS PB list. That's right. We do have 13 1.3ers. We've added a few in the last month. I think Steel, CE, or is it Steel or Storm? Somebody got one. I forget who it was. But we've had multiple people get 1.3s. Which is insane. Of course, you know Matt from being all over the Tetris world for the last 6, 7 years almost. Of course, I ran into Matt for the first time in 2019 at the CTWC Southern Qualifier, where he was kind of an unknown and walked into that tournament unknown to the Tetris community and just ran right through everybody and won the thing and won a seat or won an entry into CTWC 2019. That was in September of 2019. And since then, you've seen him play in CTWC in 2019 and 2020, 2023, Jonas Cup last year, Silver Bracket in 21 and 22. You've seen him play multiple times in DAS Masters. He was the runner-up also in our Lone Star DAS tournament in 2022. He took second at Kansas City in their DAS championship at that regional just last month. You've seen him in Stillwater, Oklahoma. You've seen him all over the place. You can't swing a dead fish without hitting Matt somewhere in Tetris. And why don't do that though? That's not a good thing to do. But he's played in DAS Masters multiple times, finishing as high as the semifinals, which he did in October of 2024, a year ago. Went out to Pixelandy, who would eventually win that one. On the right side, it's Vance, seed number 35 from the US of A, PB of 1.22 million. Vance making his 5th appearance in one of our DAS tournaments. Defeated Thisnthat in round 1 to make it here into round 2. These players are playing for a spot in the top 32 of this tournament. 429 for Matt, 444 for Vance. You've also seen Vance play in a lot of different DAS things, DAS Champions League. I've seen him play in CTL, Classic Tetris League. You've seen him If you were in the Northeast Regional at 2022, you saw him there as well. Plays on Tetris Friendlies, CTWC Silver Bracket in 24. And if he makes it into the top 8, I'm obligated to buy him a CTM tank top, which he was desperately trying to win. You know, when people are gifting merch to the channel, he was desperately trying to win it, but never could. 541 for Vance. Gets a Tetris 564, 515 for Matt. I'm looking forward to seeing who shows up at Jonas Cup. I will not be there. 99% sure I will not be there. But the thought crossed my mind, like, oh, maybe I could go somehow, but it is not to be. 615 entry into 19 for Vance, 529 for Matt. Tetris for Vance, 641. Same line count, over 100,000 point lead. Tetris for Matt, 564. And I'd remember that capture anywhere, because I think this is my upscaler and capture card that Matt still uses to this day, which I love to see it. I was like, I got to get Matt streaming, right? So I'm like, here it is. I have equipment like all over the country. I got AVSs, I got upscalers, capture cards. They're everywhere. Matt's going to get a long bar over 4 Tetris and to bring that stack down. More importantly, 652 for him. 689 for Vance. So Matt's starting to catch up a bit, and Vance's stack starting to climb. All right, he's going to bring this down with a couple multi-line clears. And this is getting tough for Vance. Kind of high-centered here, but see what he can get over. No, and that is going to be a top out for Vance. It's 701. So Matt has got a chase down opportunity. He needs to get to 702. That L for the left is huge for Matt. What else can he get over to the left, though? He just really needs continual pieces on that left side. It's going to be really tough. He dive bombs that Z over, or that S or Z to the left, and it's not going to be enough. So Matt is going to top out 15,000 points short of the chase down target. Vance is going to hang on and take game number 1. The player's probably running into a rough sequence roughly the same time. All right, players, when you are ready, there is a new set of pieces in the chat. $9,937DO or D0. Oh. Both players ready. Game number 2. Vance up 1-0. So let's get him started. Matt looking to tie it up. And we have started. The TJO. All right, Matt has got 1 push down point. So if it comes down to a tied score, Matt would have the advantage, which he does right now by 1 point. That pushdown point is free and probably, game theoretically optimal. Now Vance with the 4 pushdown points. So I'm not trying to engender a pushdown war, but I have to report what I see on the screen. Ian Keith is here. He'll be playing later. Oh, Vance with the Spire. It's starting to bring it down. It's a very handy L piece. And it looks like Vance will be able to open up the column 10 well and wait for a bar, which he gets. And there's a Tetris for Vance. 117, 123 for Matt. Oh, by the way, I missed the raid from Sharky. Thank you, Sharky. Raid party of 10. Appreciate that. I'm sure Sharky will be at the Jonas Cup, which my understanding was at risk of not even happening this close to the actual date of it. But thank goodness they're getting that sorted. Oh, Big Pile Guam says, yeah, true. I don't actually have to say what I see on the screen. Mostly it's baseball or fast food or something. Oh, I should report that Vance in this and that match. 3-2. $254 for Matt, $259 for Vance. Tetris Vance 310, 296 for Matt. That's, Omen Voir brings up a good point. Guam, Big Pile Guam in chat is known for being on a treadmill during qualifiers and competitions and things like that. Do you know how many miles you have logged while playing Tetris? Do you actually know the number? Or can you estimate? We are 2 points apart. These players are literally 2 pushdown points apart. Matt's going to take the lead, though. Gets a Tetris. Yeah, you want to know points per mile? Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of interesting stats there that who knows if they even exist. 415 for Matt, 378 for Vance. You do 3 to 4 miles in a typical match? Insane. I don't do 3 to 4 miles in a typical week. 485 for Matt, 428 for Vance. Oh, wait, I'm laughing. Sorry, Carl. Why is he laughing? A Tetris for Vance, 474. One line to go until 19 hits. There's a Tetris, Vance, 498. It's about 3 lines apart. Matt ahead by 19,000 points, less than a Tetris. Tetris is here on 19, worth 24,000. And they will go up 1,200 points every time the colors change. Tetris for Matt, 548. Vance still digging. He was kind of committing to that column 9 Tetris. Finally gets it. 532 from him. Tetris, Vance, 563. 580 for Matt, so still pretty close. Yes, Tommy is playing Omega Liam. You can check out the bracket here in the chat. There's a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube as well. Vance now in the lead by a small amount. Oh, Vance blocked. Going to uncover again. Needs a quick bar, though. This is tough with Das, and now he's kind of all in. And that is going to be a top out for Vance, and Matt is already good by about 402 points. So Matt is good in game number 2. Anime Cat, hello. All right, pieces are in the chat when you're ready, players. If you need to take a moment, you can. 136DA2. I'll run a quick ad while players are getting set up here. Gotta make them dollar bills, y'all. Remember to contribute to the prize pool. We are at 7654. Use the Matcherino command if you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube, or go to go.ctm.gg/dasprize if you're watching after the fact. Prize pool is funded 100% by you, the fans and viewers. So please consider contributing. That is what determines how big these tournaments get and whether players keep showing up for them. When we get down to the 32, we will have a series of incentives, you know, basically payouts, who will pay, how much will pay, and so forth. We'll get all that worked out. Looks like Vance has run away. Maybe putting some laundry in the dryer or something. All right, there he is. Both players ready now for game number 3, Matt and Vance. What was once a best of 5, now a best of 3. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. We do have another bracket of Mega Dasters starting in 37 minutes. It's going to be Ian Keith versus Neuro. And the winner versus Cole. We're making a lot of progress in Mega Dasters thanks to Zempro and his scheduling and all that. We have more Mega Dasters tomorrow. 2 brackets, basically the same starting time as today. 6 p.m. Texas time and then 8 p.m. Texas time. It's going to be Demon versus Anpu, winner versus Steel, and then Zack Attack versus Nima, or Nima. Let me say Nima. And winner versus Tommy. Those will be tomorrow. Same starting times as today, or at least the last 2 today. Like this one and the next one. Dirty Tetris for Matt, 63,000. A skimming a Tetris for Vance, 96,000. Now, it looks like these 2 players have yet to meet each other in a match, DAS or otherwise. So another Matchagami. Now, they've each played multiple DAS Masters events and have yet to run into one another. Dirty Tetris for Matt, 144. He's got those 2 push downs. 193 for Vance. All right, good placements here for Matt to keep that, that left in contention. And gets that S over to the left as well. All right, Matt is set up and would love a long bar right now and gets it. So that's going to clean up his stack considerably. See how he attempts to deal with this. If he can get a long bar, be good for a triple into that column too, but it would clean up his stack a lot. See how he attacks this. He's going to go left well. I think he's just going to take this down. Got to reestablish that column 10 well. Good delayed burn there. With the long bar for Matt, 209, 263. Another skimming a Tetris for Vance. Omen Voir says Skibbity Tetris. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. I thought Skibbity was over. I'm kind of falling behind on the slang, right? I'm kind of falling behind. I know there's something about like 6'7". I know something about chicken jockey. But I don't know. I don't know what else. I'm falling behind. Omen Voir says, I actually heard skim and a Tetris as Skibbity Tetris. That does not, I don't see the connection between those 2 things, but you do you, man. 354 for Matt, 432 for Vance. The whole 6-7 thing means absolutely nothing. It's just brain rot. Yeah, I mean, I think it has to do with some song, and so people just say it. You assume 6 is afraid of 7. Is that because 7, 8, 9? That's a classic. It's always been a classic, always will be. Zook, my goodness. What the heck? How dare you? 406 for Matt, 486 for Vance. Matt gets a Tetris. Matt 5 lines away from that level 19 speed increase. Speed is going to increase by 50%. The value of line clears is about to start increasing every 10 lines. 453 for Matt, 532 for Vance. Tetris Vance into 19 at 556. All right, I've looked something up on yourteenmag.com, and there is a list of Gen Alpha slang words and meanings. This is so cringe. Tetris for Vance, 589, 512 for Matt. It says it was updated June 2nd, so I don't think it's got the latest stuff, you know? It moves fast. All right, Matt trying to keep that well open, but yeah, eventually just going to have to give in and take this down for the sake of safety. 548 for Matt, 646 for Vance. Vance almost 100,000 points ahead and has 7 lines in hand. So Matt on 22, Vance on 21. There's a dirty split triple for Matt. Anime Cat says, as a young person, I know all this slang. Well, you should let us all know what it is. Tetris for Matt, 604. Like, concoct a really ridiculous sentence full of Gen Alpha slang. And do that for our enjoyment. Thank you. All right, Matt trying to push the envelope a little bit here. There's a Tetris for Matt. He's not going to be able to fling that Z piece to the left. That's going to cause a burn down for him. $730 for Vance. Now remember, we really just 230 lines. That is essentially the limit for Das. So when you're behind significantly, late and deep, sometimes you got to take some chances. I think Matt knows that, and that's what he's doing, and he's not going to be able to do it. So Vance is going to outlast Matt and take game number 3 and go up 2 games to 1. And for Vance here, 783 on 26, not maxable. But, you know, if you want to get some warm-up in, you can do that. So yeah, I need a more up-to-date one. It has brain rot is 1, but everybody knows that. Chicken jockey. So this is very Minecraft movie era slang. Ohio. Glizzy? Oh my God, what the heck? That's the worst word. Crash out. Chopped. Oh my God. There's some of these I should not be saying out loud. Gruz is a derogatory term used to describe old people. Gruz, what the heck? Tetris Gruz match. Vance says, I've been teaching middle schoolers as part of my job, and I now understand the 6-7 stuff way more than I should. Oh my God. What are these terms? There's some that I don't even want to say out loud. 045DD2. It's still got stuff on these lists like that's way old. like from early 2025. Like, what the heck? I'm going to put Gen Alpha Slang October 2025. All right, looks like both players are on seed. Both players are ready. Let's get them started. Game number 4. Matt needs to win to force a deciding game 5. You know, these early rounds have been pretty close, actually. Fox 5 San Diego. I'll tell you who has like the best lists are like these newscasts. Like somehow reporters like on the news, they don't help you understand the important things in the world, but they can do puff pieces on what Gen Alpha is saying. What's Fox 5 San Diego? It's just local news. Yeah, see, these are... Oh my God, what are these? I can't even say any of these out loud. Clanker, a derogatory term for robots and AI. That's like the only one I can say out loud. What? Yeah, I can't say. A lot of these are just derogatory terms for people of various differing attributes. $146 for Matt, 85,000 for Vance. You love the word clanker? These are so dumb. Sorry, now I'm like down the rabbit hole and I'm reading all this stupid slang. 244 for Matt, 122 for Vance. I'm trying to find ones I can say on stream. You know, it's family friendly, respectful stream, but a lot of them are just ways to make fun of people. That's not nice. $131 for Vance, 270 for Matt. Tetris Matt, 296. Vance kind of scuffling a bit here, 136 through 68. So be about a mid to low 300 transition if this pace continues. Upload this match specifically to YouTube. Maybe the YouTube comments can help educate. Yeah, that's just what we need, Winter. That's just what we need. $208 for Vance, $350 for Matt. Like, you know, I am against all like forms of authoritarianism, especially things like, you know, if they have going on in certain countries, a social credit score, things like that. But the only place I would not mind a social credit score is limiting your ability to post on social media and comment sections. I would low key consider being in favor of that. Like, just keep nasty people It is a bad idea. I know. That's why I'm not really in favor of it. But you know, if I could just have one bad rights disrespecting law, that might be it. Well, that, and then just like, you know, capital punishment for like graffiti and vandalizing things with graffiti. I hate graffiti so much. If it's vandalism. Now, if it's like the style of art that's allowed to be put somewhere, okay, fine. But if it's just like tagging, I hate tagging. I hate that so much. 508 for Matt, 379 for Vance. Those would be the two things. Like I would have to approve all social media posts and posters and severe penalties for graffiti. 420 for Matt, 403 for Vance. Vandalizing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, punishments for that as well. All right, Matt, a little delayed burn, trying to keep that well open until the Tetris emerges, but that bar is not coming. So a little bit of a drought, and Matt going to be in rough shape. That is going to block that well, and what can he do? He set up a center well Tetris, and he tops out at 428. And there's just nothing Matt can do after he set up that well. It was kind of up to the RNG gods. So Matt will top out, and Vance will advance to the top 32. And yeah, the winner of this will be taking on, that's Vance, will be taking on Fractal in the round of 32. So Vance is like 2 rounds away from winning that tank top. See, Matt, I kind of did you dirty because I motivated him. He really wants a CTM tank top. And I promised him one if he got to the top 8. So I kind of did you dirty. But GG's, Matt. Always a pleasure. Hope to see you around these parts again. You know, 5 games is not enough, but 7 is too many. I wish we could, you know, I wish there was a better way to do it. But all right, Vance, congratulations. I'll go ahead and report this to the proper authorities. And we will have people knocking on your door asking questions. One step closer to the tank top. Indeed. All right, so it was 3-1, right? 3-1. Monthly. Yeah, 2 more rounds. Just going to beat Fractal. You know, just the reigning North American CTWC DAS champion. Just got to beat him. No problem. And then whoever the next person is. Let's see. That's going to be either Poopy, Grand Designs, Cobra, Uf Means Egg, Vice Bro, Scotto, Blue Scooty, or Alex T. So you just got to beat one of those guys after Fractal. No problem. There are more matches tonight. Starting in 19 minutes, there will be matches. So we are going to take a quick break. We're going to go offline. Thanks again, Vance. Congratulations. And thanks again, Matt. Hope to see you again. Let's see who supported us. Here's the list. Here it is. Vance got a sub. Czar Jordan got got his own sub. Zook gifted it to Vance. We also had a raid from Sharky, a raid from Frodo Dodo. And Joshi got a membership from Lori. So thank you very much. Patrons, as always, thank you. Scott Gray, Jane the Window, K9 Tacky, Corporal Shelby, Troy and Kim, M. Rogue Potato, Catkin, Javan T, Jason, and Sunny. Thank you for your support, as well as everybody else on this slide. Patreon.com/monthly Tetris. Keep this channel going. Don't let it die. Don't let it die. Who gave you the sub? It was Zook. Prizes, we got up to 76.54. Thank you to Uncle Ungie for the contribution. Blingus as well. And before that, it was Rogue Potato. So thank you very much. All right, we're going to go offline. YouTube, we'll see you in about 18 minutes. Take care. Twitch, I'll read you off somewhere. Just be back in 18 minutes.